Hey everybody, it is Trey here, back with Sean. We have got a very fun one for you today, looking at the Rolling Stones Beggars Banquet album. I've never listened to this album. This is a full-up, just first-time review for me. What about you?
Yeah, me neither. I never listened to it either, in all transparency. So,
so you're kind of going to get a new, authentic flair with this. And as always, guys, we like to play the songs in the background due to the strict copyright, though, that the Rolling Stones have in a lot of these bigger bands. I'm only going to be able to put little snippets in there, put some live performances, instrumentals, so that is why you won't be hearing the full studio version. But all that to say, man, let's get rocking with some quick facts. Sean, you want to start us off?
So this is the 7th album released in Britain, the 9th in America for the Stones, and this peaked at number 5.
Yeah, that was crazy. I thought it would have been like 1 or...
Yeah, because it's number 58 on the Rolling Stone top 500 albums of all time, so you definitely would have thought that it would have come in higher. It was also the last album that was released during founder Brian Jones's lifetime. During the same time period, the Stones got into some psychedelic rock.
Yeah, we're looking at, late 60s kind of.
Yeah, and their previous album was called Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And that caused a lot of, the title itself, there's nothing in there about Satan, but it caused...
drummed up some controversy.
It caused some controversy, and a lot of long-term fans didn't like it. So this was considered a return to form for them. Started working with the new producer, Jimmy Miller, and this is kind of the album that then goes into Let It Bleed, Exile on Main Street, and kind of really puts them over
their biggest.
Yeah, so this album's very important, and like you, I'd never listened to it. It was released in '68. I was born in '71. I've never been a Stones guy, and I listened to this album the first time, and I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, you weren't digging it.
As I always do, I've listened to it about 15 times. Wow, love it. But yeah, it takes a while. It's an acquired taste for me, at least. This takes us into Sympathy for the Devil. Ranked 32 on Rolling Stone top 500 songs of all time.
Yeah, so it's up there.
It's way up there. And we were talking about it the other day, and I told you, man, I think it might be one of the 32 best songs I've ever heard. Now I'm going to tell you guys in full transparency, I'm a devout Christian, so listen to this song, Sympathy for the Devil. The first time I listened to it, I'm like, what in the world am I doing here, right? But it's a very interesting song. You kind of want to tell us what the premise of it is?
Yeah, so this is one that you really want to dissect the lyrics at. For me, the story was very interesting, and I have my degree literally in religion, so this was a very interesting dive for me. Jagger takes the first-person view and speaks as the devil, and about how the devil's been there through all these atrocities, going all the way back to Pontius Pilate at the
killing Jesus. He said, I washed his hands.
Yeah, exactly. To some holy wars, a Russian Revolution, to World War II, to the Kennedys being shot. Through all this, Satan kind of putting onto humanity all of the atrocities that have happened to these people, all these wars and terrible things, and is kind of like sympathy for me because you guys are blaming me for all of this when you guys are the one that are deep down evil. So it was very interesting in that sense. The instrumentation here was just unbelievable too. You just want to do a little Ric Flair whenever they're going woo, woo.
Yeah, it's the instrumentation on this whole album as you dive deeper into it is very unique.
Jagger kind of puts Satan as more of a gentlemanly-like figure than like the pitchfork and whatnot.
It's no pitchfork and horns.
No,
it's like, hey, man.
He's more distinguished.
Yeah, exactly.
But then at the end, the devil's like, you better use your manners with me or I'll put your soul to waste type of thing. So he's still throwing around his weight. Scripture in the Bible that says that the devil is the ultimate deceiver. So it's almost like, okay, is he deceiving humanity into thinking they alone are the cause of all this when he's actually the mastermind the whole time, but he wants them to take blame? So this got me thinking a lot, and this was my favorite track.
Oh yeah, this song is absolutely legit. I have spun this song probably 50 times. It's this song itself.
It was unbelievable.
Tremendous. All right, so that brings us into No Expectations, Trey.
Yeah, and this had a total tempo shift. It was all acoustic and more laid back compared to the boisterous, Sympathy for the Devil.
This whole album, and this song in particular, and a couple others, I guess, borrows heavily from the blues tradition. One of the interesting things about this song is it has 5 verses, no chorus. One of my favorite songs on the album. It's tremendous.
No, I'd agree with that. It kind of takes the story of a guy who's leaving town and he has no expectations of going back. Very mellow, very chill, and I really dug this.
Yeah, I dug it too, which brings us into a song that...
Dear Doctor.
I gotta tell you, the first time I heard the song, I'm like, what in the world?
No, I was the same. I was like, I'm not really feeling Dear Doctor too
No,
much.
I told you after the first couple times, I'm like, man, I hate this song. But now, after 15 times,
Yeah. It's a grower on me. This guy's on his wedding day. He's all nervous. He's getting a drink. He's getting his stuff ready. He doesn't really want to marry this woman.
no, he describes her as a four-legged sow, and his mom's kind of making him marry her, so she's getting him drunk on sour bourbon, so he'll carry through with
Yeah,
it.
so it was just funny. And then towards the end, Jagger's talking like Elmo, and like Jagger throughout this whole album has a bunch of unique voices.
Yeah, you're like, is
And-
that Mick? But
Yeah,
it is on
and
every
so
one.
he's like talking as the woman he's about to marry. The woman's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't come and tell you this in person, but I'm going off with your cousin. And then the dude's just relieved. So I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
and,
the voice he sings in, I'm not even going to attempt to recreate it.
But I ended up enjoying this one. It was kind
I
of
did too.
a welcome break.
Which takes us into Parachute Woman. My least favorite song on this album. Nothing wrong with this. Basically, as Mick tried to do from time to time over various albums, he's kind of bragging about his
Sexual exploits.
sexual exploits. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty forgettable
Yeah.
and compared to the other 9 songs on here. And I wasn't digging Jagger's vocals on
Oh,
this
neither.
too
He's
much.
a banging harmonica.
Yes,
he's
that's true.
credited with the harmonica in some places, and Brian Jones is credited with the harmonica in some places. So, who knows who played it? It's fine.
It's nothing like this next song,
Oh,
Jigsaw
man.
Puzzle. Told another great story. This guy, he is, as the name suggests, it's raining outside, he's making a jigsaw puzzle, but in the process, he kind of sees all these people in life. There's the hobo, there's the bishop's daughter, there's a gangster, there's grandmas.
There's all kinds of misfits and outlaws.
Yeah, and I think that just my interpretation, I didn't read this anywhere, I could be totally off, but he's out here making his jigsaw puzzle. Just the fact that there's a bunch of different characters that you're going to come across in life, a bunch of different people, and trying to figure out what to do next. What's the next jigsaw piece in life?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, and I think, when you read what these songs mean, you kind of have to interpret it, because at different places, Jagger will say one thing, Richards will say another thing, and then years later, they'll kind of say something else. So I guess they just want you to kind of make of it what you want.
Yeah.
One of the things in this song, they use an instrument that's very popular in the 60s called the mellotron, and it creates these weird noises. Think of an early synthesizer. I'm not going to get into how they work necessarily, but the Beatles used it first on Strawberry Fields Forever.
Yeah,
they popularized it, but Radiohead uses it right now. So it's an instrument, but it causes some unique sounds, and that gives Jigsaw Puzzle and another couple other tracks on here some unique sounds. Which brings us to
Street Fighting Man. Woo! This thing was raw, it was intense, it was probably the most like rock and roll almost type song on here. I just love the intensity in this, and Jagger's vocals, and just the drums were going in. That's what I really noticed on the instrument side. And the lyrics just kind of talk about rebelling, kind of starting a revolution.
Yeah.
At the start, the character in the song is just kind of like ready to go out on the streets and get ready, but by the end he's gonna say, man, I'm ready to go in, kill the king and his servants, and just like start a revolution. And this happened obviously in the late 60s, a very tumultuous time across the world.
So this is 1968, and it caused some controversy because in 1968 in America, the Democratic National Convention was held in Chicago. This song was released a week after it. There's a bunch of riots from protesting there. So Chicago radio stations actually banned this song. Peaked at number 48 on the charts. It's number 301 on the greatest song. Peaked at 48 because people were banning it. Mick's answer to that was, I'm glad they're banning it. Last record of ours they banned sold over a million copies. So,
they're banning it. Sometimes you're doing something right if they.
Yeah, and I guarantee it piques people's curiosity, right? So, I thought that was tremendous.
That kind of takes us right into the one track that they didn't write. This was a cover called "Prodigal Son." This is a takeoff of one of his most famous parables, the prodigal son, and it pretty much just tells the story of that parable. I thought it was a good track.
This song was originally credited to them as well, and then later on they changed it to the Reverend Robert Wilkins, which is the guy that wrote the song and caused a bunch of controversy. He first played it in 1929, first recorded it in 1964. came across it somehow, the Stones did. Yeah, it's a good song. It's just there, and that brings us into Stray Cat Blues. This song is a little uncomfortable to listen to. It's told from the perspective of a man lusting after a 15-year-old girl. But you know, he even says it's no big deal. It's not no hanging crime. I mean, that's what this song is about. So I mean, it's all right. The content of it's a little uncomfortable.
I dug this more for the instrumentation. This was again upbeat and you know, just great guitar work. Probably some of the best on the album, but
I agree.
Wouldn't be one of my favorite tracks. But then that moves us right into Factory Girl. This was short, and this was again more acoustically based. Just another song about Jagger waiting for a girl to come out. Nothing too deep lyrically. But,
no, it's 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, no,
as you said.
it goes by pretty quick, but I thought it was, again, a good tempo shift. Kept the album kind of vibrant, you know, not just all rock and all low beat, and I like this one.
Yeah, it's likened to an Appalachian folk tune, whatever that is, but many critics likened it to that. So it's an interesting song in the middle of some of these others, and that takes us to the final song, Salt of the Earth. The opening verse in this is actually sung by Keith Richards. Lyrical salute to the working class, basically, the salt of the earth.
I thought it was a good shout out to a bunch of blue collar workers.
Yeah, me too.
Especially in that time.
Hard manual labor.
Yeah,
baby.
Exactly. But I also thought it was interesting that in the chorus talks about singing up and seeing the masses of gray and white, and they look so strange to him because, you know, at this point, the Stones were obviously humongous, and they can't really relate to that anymore. So I thought that was interesting, kind of that dichotomy of, okay, the rich and upper class kind of singing about giving thanks to the lower man, but I can't relate to him anymore. So.
Honesty, baby.
Yeah.
Honesty. Yeah, that's what a lot of people like about the Stones. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. So, I mean, we'll kind of take us right into what's your favorite track?
Favorite track, Sympathy for the Devil, No Expectations, Jigsaw Puzzle, and Street Fighting Man. Those would be my 4 least favorites, would be Parachute Woman.
I'll kind of just... Yeah, I'll echo those sentiments.
Now to our overall score. Now, for me, this really went up whenever I listened to it more. I've listened to it probably 8 or 9 times.
Yeah.
And because when I initially heard it, I was like, I don't know how much I'm feeling this. But my final score, I'm going in 8.75 on this, which is a album I think is consistently great. I'd like to own. That's kind of where I'm at on my scale with it. I thought this thing was awesome, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more of their, you know, even more highly acclaimed records.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. So I'm right there with you. I think the only thing, a couple songs kind of bring it down. They're not horrible. The thing with the Stones is I've noticed on the albums that I have listened to, their high songs are at an incredibly high level. Their songs that aren't so great are really, there's not a lot of middle of the road stuff there, and it makes them hard to rate. But I'm right there with you in the same avenue.
I guess that'll take us right into properly rated, overrated, underrated, where we think it is. I think this thing's properly rated. I think the songs on here that are highly acclaimed, Sympathy for the Devil and Street Fighting Man, are also properly rated. I think this is very good, and it'll be interesting to kind of see where we rank them once we listen to Let It Bleed, Exile
and Main Street. Yeah, those are the 2 next ones we'll probably be hitting up. And
so, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm exactly with you. I think it's properly rated. You know, it's in the 50s. I think it's 58. Like I said, on the Rolling Stone top 500 albums of all time. I mean, I think that's right where it's at. It's excellent, man. It's made a Rolling Stones fan out of me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I'd ever say that.
Yeah.
So I definitely encourage you, if you've never listened to this, you got to spin it several times, and it'll be like, okay, it's growing on you.
Well, guys, I guess that about does it for today. Really want to appreciate you, Sean, for stopping.
Oh, it was a pleasure being back. Yeah,
stopping on by, and we drop 2 videos a week, guys, so please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We do a variety of genres. Give us a big thumbs up and comment below your favorite track from this excellent record, and we will be sure to respond to that. We thank you so much for watching. Happy listening, my friends, and we will see you next time.